We're live.
Great.
Yes, welcome everybody. This is our last concert.
The last Cafezinho concert.
Wow, wow.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. Welcome to the fourth and last Cafezinho, and this is LatinX Revolution. So, today's concert will feature works by Latinx artists from the past who have greatly contributed to shape today's Latinx culture. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term Latinx, it represents a gender neutral of Latino or Latina. The artists represented in this concert are Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz from Mexico, Tarsila do Amaral from Brazil, Frida Khalo from Mexico, Julia de Burgos from Puerto Rico, and Clarice Lispector from Brazil. And I will put a little picture.
So can we talk just really quickly about the format? The format of today's concert is a little different from the other three concerts in our series. Today I was going to read a little biographical information, and you'll see a picture of each of the artists. He's worked very hard on this biographical information, by the way. And so you'll see a picture of each person while he reads, and then he'll read the poem in the original language, which is either Spanish or Portuguese.
Right.
And then I'll read the translation. So if you don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, then you'll understand English after today was through.
Right. And for those of you that are on Facebook, we have uploaded the pictures of the program. So if you click there, you will be able to see.
Those are on our page, on our Anima Vox
page on Facebook.
So.
Okay.
Great.
So
picture away.
Here is the first work we're going to be doing. First artist. And is Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, or Sister Juana de la Cruz. She lived a very short life, 44 years old. She was a nun, a scholar, and acclaimed writer of the Latin American colonial period. She was also a staunch advocate for women's rights. Sor Juana's enduring importance and literary success are attributed to her mastery of the full range of poetic forms and themes of the period, and the display of inventiveness, wit, and a wide range of knowledge in her writings. With Sor Juana's growing renown, however, came disapproval from the church, which admonished her and tried to force her to focus on religious instead of secular studies. She never complied and challenged the system in her own way. She defended the right of all women to attain knowledge. She said, "One can perfectly well philosophize while cooking supper," and justified her study of secular topics as necessary to understanding theology. Today, Sor Juana stands as a national icon of Mexican identity. She came to new prominence in the late 20th century with the rise of feminism and women's writing, officially becoming credited as the first published feminist of the New World. And the poem that we have chosen is called Hombres Necios, que acusais?
You foolish men.
Hombres necios, que acusais a la mujer sin razón, sin ver que sois la ocasión de lo mismo que culpáis? Si con ansia sin igual solicitáis su desdén, ¿por qué queréis que obren bien si las incitáis al mal? Combatís su resistencia y luego, con gravedad, decís que fue liviandad lo que hizo la diligencia. ¿Cuál mayor culpa ha tenido en una pasión errada la que cae derrogada o el que ruega del caído? ¿O cuál es la más culpar, aunque cualquiera mal haga, la que peca por la paga o el que paga por pecar?
Before I read the translation, Tadeo, can you take the little welcome to Cafezinho thing off
Absolutely.
the screen so people can see the lovely kitchen things that I pulled out from our kitchen?
Great. There you go.
It's always more fun when you're listening to people improvise if you can see what they're using. Yeah. So you can kind of see what I'm using there. I'll move this back a little bit. I'll hold things up. Great. So this is the translation. You foolish men who lay the guilt on women, not seeing you're the cause of the very thing you blame. If you invite their disdain with measureless desire, they wish they well behave if you incite to ill. You fight their stubbornness, then weightily you say it was their lightness when it was your guile. Who has embraced the greater blame in passion? She who solicited falls, or he who fallen pleads? Who is more to blame, though either should do wrong? She who sins for pay, or he who pays to sin? You know.
Yep.
There we go.
I love it. Okay. The second artist we chose, Tarsila Amaral, and here is her painting. She is considered one of the leading modernist artists of Latin America, described as the Brazilian painter who best achieved aspirations for nationalistic expression in a modern style. In 1923, Tarsila spent time in Paris. Upon her return to Brazil, Tarsila traveled throughout the country to explore the variety of indigenous culture and to find inspiration for her nationalistic art. During this time, Tarsila's colors became more vibrant. She wrote that she had found the colors she had adored as a child. Tarsila's legacy is her effect on the direction of Latin America art. Tarsila moved modernism forward in Latin America and developed a style unique to Brazil. In 1928, she premiered the painting A Lua, the moon. That's what you see there on your screen. The painting combines aesthetic elements of the Parisian avant-garde art with a Brazilian perspective. There. The next artist, Frida Khalo. She said, I paint self-portraits because I am so often alone, because I am the person I know the best. Born Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón, she was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits, self-portraits, and works inspired by the nature and artifacts of Mexico. Motivated by the country's popular culture, she employed a naive folk art style to explore questions of identity, post-colonialism, gender, class, and race in Mexican society. Her paintings often had strong autobiographical elements and mixed realism with fantasy. In addition to belonging to the post-revolutionary Mexicaritol movement, which sought to define a Mexican identity, Kahlo has been described as a surrealist or magical realist. Las dos Fridas, or the two Frids, what you're looking at your screen, shows Frida's two different personalities. One is the traditional Frida in Tijuana costume with a broken heart sitting next to an independent, modern dressed Frida. In this painting, the two Fridas are holding hands. They both have visible hearts, and the heart of the traditional Frida is cut and torn open. The blood keeps dripping on her white dress, and she is in danger of bleeding to death. The stormy sky filled with agitated clouds may reflect Frida's inner turmoil. I cannot also help to make the connection of the open heart in the Catholic paintings associated with suffering, vulnerability, and openness to the present moment. All right. Okay. The next artist is Julia de Burgos. She also had a short life. She died when she was 39 years old. Julia wrote, I am life, I am strength, I am woman. Julia de Burgos, born in Carolina, Puerto Rico, is widely regarded as her country's greatest poet, and along with the Chilean Gabriela Mistral, as one of the two greatest female poets in Latin American history. Julia de Burgos' poverty-stricken background and mixed heritage were factors in the evolution of the revolutionary politics she espoused as part of the independence movement in Puerto Rico. Julia was a woman of great sensitivity, rebellious spirit, and exceptional intelligence. Her discomfort with social ills, her love for Puerto Rico, and her preoccupation with justice and death all come out in the torrents of her poetry with its richly emotional metaphors. De Burgos was ahead of her time in grasping connections between history, the body, politics, love, self-negation, and feminism, using images of sex, pain, and her own tragic life in her works. The poem we chose to inspire us in our improvisation is Yo misma fui mi ruta. Yo quise ser como los hombres quisieron que yo fuese, un intento de vida, un juego al escondite con mi ser. Pero yo estaba hecha de presentes y mis pies planos sobre la tierra promisora no resistían caminar hacia atrás y seguían adelante, adelante, burlando las cenizas para alcanzar el beso de los sendores nuevos.
I was my own route. I wanted to be like men wanted me to be, an attempt at life, a game of hide and seek with my being. But I was made of nows, and my feet flat on the promissory earth would not accept walking backwards. I went forward, forward, teasing the ashes to reach the kiss of new paths.
Okay. All right.
I needed to end that one.
All right. Absolutely. All right. Well, and the artist that we chose to end our program today is Clarice Lispector. And I'll read a few notes on her. Born Chaya Pikasovna Lispector in 1920, Ukraine, of Jewish parents, Clarice was a celebrated national icon in Brazil during her lifetime and is now recognized as one of the greatest writers to come out of Latin America in the 20th century, male or female. The family immigrated to northeast Brazil when she was 5 years old. Lispector achieved international fame with works that depict a highly personal, almost existentialist view of the human dilemma. She is notoriously difficult to translate. In contrast to the regional and national social concerns expressed by many of her Brazilian contemporaries, her artistic vision transcends time and space. Her characters in elemental situations of crisis are frequently female, mostly universal. She wrote, "O caminho que eu escolhi é o do amor. Não importam as dores, as angústias nem as decepções que eu vou ter que encarar. Escolhi ser verdadeira. No meu caminho, o abraço é apertado, o aperto de mão é sincero. Por isso, não estranhe a minha maneira de sorrir, de te desejar o bem. É só assim que eu enxergo a vida, e é só assim que eu acredito que vale a pena viver.
The path I chose is that of love. It doesn't matter the pain, the anguish, nor the disappointments that I will have to face. I choose to be true. On my way, the hug is tight. The handshake is sincere, so don't be surprised at my way of smiling, of wishing you well. That's the only way I see life, and that's the only way I believe it's worth living.
Well, there you have it. This was our last
final Cafezinho.
Thank you so much for stopping by, and we hope that you have had a nice, relaxing time. Some sugar with it, with Cafezinho.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, thank you for being with us. If you've been with us the whole time, we thank you so much. And if you're just tuning in now, if you're watching this after we've already given these 4 concerts, thank you, and we hope that you stay in touch. Send us a message. We have a composition competition that is closing in 2 days, and so we're excited to announce the results of that after we go through all those scores. So thank you.
That's our next project coming up.
Yeah.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Ciao.
Ciao.